Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? I'm Peter Cannone, Chief Executive Officer of Newforma. Joining me for this conversation today is Rich Geraffo, Vice President, Managing Director of AWS North America, and Ben Bazso, our Chief Technology Officer at Newforma. Rich, Ben, great to see you both. Thank you for joining today.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
Exciting times ahead. So we have about 15, 20 minutes, and I thought to get together, we could basically give everybody a little bit insight on this incredible partnership that we formed. So, Rich, what I thought maybe I'll give the standpoint of Newforma. You can talk about AWS. Then Ben can get under the hood a little bit with what's going on and where we're going with this partnership. For everybody on the call today, this is a 7-year agreement to build out AI capabilities for the architecture, engineer, AECO space industry. Covers the modernization of Newforma's Project Center cloud platform, evolving cloud native Newforma Connect, our Newforma Connect platform, building generative AI features on Amazon Bedrock. It also includes work towards our FedRAMP and compliance with customers. We'll talk a little bit about that. Security requirements. Zeb, as an AWS partner, tiered partner, is supporting the migration and building of AI-powered tools. We'll really get into that a little bit today for compliance and document review. The goal is better performance, stronger security, and new AI-enabled workflows for our 5 million plus users worldwide. And why is that significant? 7 year from the Newforma standpoint, where the AECO industry is headed, more project data, more pressure, less labor issues, fast and real need for AI that can handle complex, regulated project information rather than generic documents. AWS, as Rich will tell you, doesn't sign agreements without a strategic reason. And Newforma, for us, we don't rebuild our cloud foundation on a whim. Together, our two companies are betting that the industry needs a platform built for the next decade, not just the next release. And for the AECO industry, a signal that historically underserved data-heavy industry is getting serious, sustained cloud and AI investment. For our customers, a more modern, more secure platform, now with a real path to ever-growing AI features that actually understand project data. For us at Newforma, the proof the company is playing a long game on its platform, not patching problems 1 year at a time. And for our AWS partnership, the reinforcement point that infrastructure and Amazon Bedrock can handle one of the most complex, compliance-heavy industries out there. This is game-changing for the AECO industry. Rich, welcome. I'll let you kind of give a little bit of upset from AWS's.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you, Peter, for the invite. We're super excited about this relationship and this partnership. And maybe I thought I would start with, Amazon and AWS in terms of our culture. What do we actually care about? And we care, as you think about Newforma and your clients, and you think about what the next decade looks like, that's our first starting point. How do we actually help your clients through your services and capabilities combined with Amazon serve their clients better? And you think about the mission in the architectural, engineering, construction world. I mean, the work that you do when you think about from a safety and a compliance standpoint, having the capability to understand what good looks like because you've got the data. And it's at the end of the day, it's us helping them serve their clients and bring value. And we're at this inflection point in the industry where, the insights from the data or the capabilities to use cloud technologies to drive efficiencies or speed. And now with the capabilities of AI, if you will, when you think about the compliance for FedRAMP or the compliance for the number of documents it takes to build or construct something, you have to go back. And so there's just so much more that we want to think about serving our customers mutually. And when we think about this longer term partnership, and yes, it's a 7-year agreement, but we think it's the beginning of a multi-decade relationship. Yeah. And so those are the things as we think about AWS and Newforma, that it's all about serving our clients mutually and taking advantage of, if you will, the capabilities of infrastructure and cloud, compute, storage, and network, helping and, as a software company, we work with thousands of software companies, and we see ISVs in particular really pivoting to leverage these capabilities of AI very quickly, whether it's in the software development lifecycle or enhancing your client's capabilities because you give them access to data that they can make better insights. But I'll stop there, and we're just to say super grateful for this partnership and the fact that you chose and have confidence in us, and we have confidence that will help you deliver for your customers. So maybe I'll turn it over to Ben, and he could take us a little deeper on some of the technology.
Yeah, and Ben, you just were we just had a 2 day kickoff in Montreal with all our teams together. Tell us a little bit about that, and kind of give us a little more under the hood look at where we're going.
I think that this is a huge and endeavor for everyone that everyone's super excited about. So I just got off of those couple of days in Montreal, and everybody left the room super energized, and you could see that there's over 20 folks in there just whiteboarding it out with sticky notes and really trying to figure out how do we get things done together as a team. And that really goes as a real testament as to why we signed this agreement together. Is that what I love about working with AWS as a partnership is that it's not just a contract kind of mentality where you come in, they do the work and they leave. It's this thing that you forge over a long period of time, and they're there to stand by you afterwards, whether that be reviewing your architecture through their well architected frameworks, or whether it be asking them for support for additional things. That has been a key element as to why we've chosen to go down this path with AWS. And we saw that inside of the day-to-day of that kickoff, but we also saw it as we forged this relationship prior to even signing the agreement together. And that's been really, really great. And then a little bit about from my perspective, as well as a technologist, we're building this on top of, like Rich was saying, a cloud platform that I consider to be the most modern out there. And we're building it using tools that give us a lot of flexibility and extensibility. What I love about it as well, too, is it has experiment built into it at heart. It's made for developers. It's made for us to experiment on top of and be able to augment a lot of the functionality there. And some of the tools, just to kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek of underneath the hood of what we're building out, is this allows us to tap into some of the tools like Hero for building out our software. This allows us to take advantage of Bedrock. Bedrock's got a slew of being able to have a variety of different models that are out there that appeal to us, that are specific for that use cases. It allows us to swap that out with a lot of really great guardrails. And we'll talk a little bit more about some of those non-functional requirements in a moment. But there's a lot of other really great tools out there as well, too, like Quick, to be able to build dynamic dashboards on top of as well, too. And where this is a lot of what we're leveraging right now as part of our plan is about not only are they helping us take our systems from on-prem as well as in other cloud providers and unify them into a platform inside of the AWS cloud, taking advantage of a lot of the most modern day services that they have to offer. But that is also something that, quite frankly, is positioning us really well for the future, right? And we've talked about AI. And this is the kind of thing where as we unify and put everything onto that platform, it allows us to put in place better practices around our data engineering. And so that's going to allow us to leverage that data for better insights. And as you've heard me say before on other occasions, this to our industry is really important because it's allowing us to build out what we refer to as intelligent projects. And intelligent projects is a coin term around the fact that sometimes right now inside of those projects, there's a lot of mundane work that is time consuming, that can be easily replaced, if you will, by a lot of what AI has to offer through agentic frameworks that we're building out. This is the kind of thing where also there's the fancier stuff in the future that is going to be around, for instance, like code and conformance checking, that is going to allow us to be able to leverage on top of that. So, I mean, those are just a few things, but I know I mentioned one of the other, I would say, finished on this thing, is one of the things I also love about building on top of AWS is that they've got probably the best in class non-functional requirements in the industry. And so this, for me, what I mean by that is this comes around reliability, uptime, and security. And so, as a lot of folks have seen it these days, and you've heard in the news, AI is attacking a whole bunch of things from a security standpoint. Partnering with AWS, that has got best in class, and that is, I feel, is a place for us that it makes us the most defensible as possible, to be able to be as responsible as possible. And this is allowing, as Rich was saying earlier, opening up new venues for us to be able to go down, for instance, with the government and become FedRAMP compliant with our offerings.
It's well said, Ben. Rich, you and I were talking about it earlier. This is clearly, you said it well. This isn't a vendor shop. This is an investment decision for decades ahead as we're building out this platform. But where the world's going with AI and security and compliance, and basically helping our industry, our Newforma customers, be able to be smarter, better, and to be able to work in the world where we're going, where the better outcomes. I think, Rich, is really, and I'm sure you see that across many industries, but the AECO industry, our industry, I think is really, ready for this type of platform so that we can solve many things and learn from the past, like, buildings that, structurally, and get better at structural things. And, in our industry also is challenged with, labor and there's a lot of things that are challenging on the global front that I think we can really help modernize, make more efficient with AWS along our side. Curious on your thoughts there.
Yeah, I think you both said it quite well, and I love the idea of intelligence, intelligent projects, and you mentioned the Amazon Quick. One of the things as you think about the knowledge worker versus, and today, because you have the tools like Amazon Quick, you can become so much more knowledgeable and intelligent because you get access to the data and you get insights out of the data. And these platforms and how quickly they've evolved, where now you can use literally natural language or voice, where you could literally just ask a question. And it used to take you a week, or you have to have a whole team go do it. Because of the capabilities of the platform and now these new frontier models or even bespoke models, you can actually just, in plain, simple English, ask what you're looking for and get the intelligence and the data that you need. And I see it just in my entire work stream and work life has changed because now I have access to tools that give me access to data that make me much more effective as a knowledge worker. And that's not even talking about those that are in the technology, building new applications or enhancing your capabilities as you evolve the Newforma platform. You bring intelligence and you build on top of these capabilities. So we're just getting started here. I think it's early days, and I think people should embrace it, and because it'll make them more effective. And I see Ben's got the Incredible Hulk in the background. This concept of security,
Yeah.
there's nothing more important. So as you said, having a foundational platform like Bedrock that has governance and security built into as the tenants can give your clients confidence that they're operating in a secure environment. And in today's world, that's probably job number one.
Ben, I think that is so well said, Rich. And I think as part of the journey we're entering with you folks and driving security, compliance, efficiency. We've got some exciting things. We're talking about the AI, but we're also going to be adding the FedRAMP because that is core and critical to federal government and our clients out there that are working the federal government. Having AWS there is going to make those clients even be able to recognize and get some of the efficiency of this incredible journey we're on, and we're excited about that. And then Ben, I just your thoughts on what Rich is talking about, because that is, I think, core and critical to what our customers have been telling us and asking for.
Yeah, I think one of the things that a lot of folks have been asking me since we've announced this partnership has been, well, like, what are we going to get out of this, right? Or like what's in it for me, the classic thing, right? And we talk about the intelligent project, and we're like, okay, well, what exactly does that mean? So a lot of the things that I've been telling them, or kind of responding them back to them is, in our industry, we've been very much known as the Google search, if you will, of the construction or PIM domain. But what we're going to be getting out of this is a more intelligent search, search that works. In other words, we're going to be building that on top of Amazon's open search. We're going to be building out an agentic search framework to be able to leverage how do we find the data more efficiently. And so to Rich's point earlier, you got to be able to find the data before you can do anything intelligent with it, and before you build any type of insights on top of it. And then on top of that whole search, we're going to be building out an agentic framework that is going to be a variety of agents tailored to our domain to be able to help you do things more efficiently. So removing a lot of that mundane work, removing a lot of the error-prone work that oftentimes when humans get tired at doing something, they make mistakes. So making sure that you've got a higher quality and you got folks that you got your back. We're not looking to replace folks. We're looking to enhance, you rely more on their judgment and remove some of the more mundane tasks inside of our systems. But then to Rich's point, there's a lot of insights that we can go and tap into with on top of the data that can make those, give them insights that they may have never had access to before, or they would have had to have teams of analysts going off to get, and we can build that on top of the platform, which is great. We've got other stuff that just comes out of the box from AWS, which like storage that just never ends, if you will. Storage that it's no longer a concern. But as you can imagine, being on-prem before, this was a big problem, right? They were accumulating storage. They had to find a place to store that. So those are the kind of things as you move to the cloud, a lot of those problems go away. And so definitely one of the things that gets them really excited though is really around faster delivery of features. Now before, when you're on-prem, you're delivering this on a bi or triannual basis, a new release. It's not the same thing as when you're continuously deploying. And so we're going to much more of a SaaS-based model with our offerings where we're continuously deploying new features. That's going to make folks a lot more excited about that. And obviously we've got the whole AI roadmap as well too that I'm very eager to share, but I probably don't have enough time in this call.
Rich, the AI roadmap that we've been developing with the folks at AWS is jaw-dropping in such an incredible way, of the things that are coming and what we're going to be able to do securely and in compliance is really that's where I think customers should get very excited about. And I think your ability, AWS's ability to help us leverage our customers' data, their customers' data, so they can drive to much better, faster outcomes is what Ben and we're all so thrilled about. And I think we couldn't wait to get started. Now that we're getting started, now we're going to want to go as fast as we possibly can.
Yeah, I plus one here, and I think for your customers, I mean, I happen to be in the technology business for many decades. So when you hear words like agents and AI, making it real and making it practical for someone that maybe doesn't have our backgrounds, that grew up in the architectural or engineering world, that's why I think coming down to, as Ben said, things that you do every day that become mundane, or maybe you can be more efficient or have someone automate that capability through an agent, or even in the future, as you evolve, you can create these agents that can do work for you. It's almost like becomes part of your workforce. So you got your human workforce and your digital workforce. They're all working on your behalf, and all with the intent to hear like leveraging the legacy data set or the new capabilities of AI. And you put those two together, and then, how do you serve your customer even better? So that's the vision we have here. And there's a lot to it. But that's why we like our partnership. Where we know our capabilities, you have your subject matter expertise, and then you got Zeb that can help make all this real. So it's sort of like very exciting to kind of embark on this new journey together.
Yeah, and also just the forward recognition of the journey we're on, in both the triangulation of the investment we're making, you're making, Zeb is making to move fast and basically, change this industry for the better. And I don't think in a lot of great players out there, a lot of great partners out there, and I think this partnership coming together is a first. And I think anybody on watching this today and folks should be very excited about where this is going to go and what it means for the ability for them to have better outcomes and better delivery.
And I always go back to our culture at Amazon. Andy Jassy, as he writes his shareholder letters, or Jeff Bezos, our founder, like, we are mission oriented. And I will tell you, just this past couple of weeks, and I thought you've probably seen these earthquakes in Colombia. and I watched some of these buildings and the importance of building a building, whether it's a hospital, and one of the hospitals collapsed in Colombia. So it makes you really think the importance of the mission of your customers and how we
Yeah.
could support them for safety and compliance, and making sure there are the right regulations. So when you have a building and you get a 7.0 earthquake, it's not going to collapse. So always come back to why we exist. It's to serve customers mutually, and never lose sight of what the real mission is. And that's why I think people will understand that why is Amazon AWS different? It is because of our culture and our values and our mission oriented partnerships.
That is so well said, and obviously we want to be part of that and join that mission. And Ben, you were talking about earlier why is what Rich was talking about, our ability of having the entire lens. You want to just expound on what Rich was saying?
Yeah, I think for us, that's also something that I don't like to lose track of. So, as a technologist, I love AI and I love using tools, but at the end of the day, this is for people. And so there's for me, not losing track of that is super important. And one of the things that I'm proud to say that we're doing at Newforma is, as we're building out this agentic framework, as we're building out AI to help humans, be more efficient, we're also doing it in a lens that they're less likely to make errors. It's checking things for them. And we are actually keeping the stats on that. So to your point, Rich, earlier around, hey, now we're following our processes more rigorously. We're able to help our customers do that, and by extension, that is producing buildings that are more that have higher quality, and then therefore doesn't translate into certain things that may happen in the news. And so these are the kind of things that they keeping that lineage of what's going on in a project as well too, which is really powerful, is about keeping a lot of that data as well, that is going to allow you to provide those insights afterwards. So not only the learnings on the day-to-day as you're going through the project, so that you're failing fast, you're finding things early, and that you're detecting any issues before they actually snowball into something that is either costly, both in terms of lives, or money in terms of projects that may fail.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's well said. So this was great, Rich and Ben. Rich, any final comments?
Well, I wanted to say, Peter and Ben, and to everyone, we're super excited about this new partnership and new relationship, and I thank you for giving us trust. We'll continue to earn that trust over time, and we're ready to go help you and your clients build on this partnership.
Ben?
I would say I'm just super excited to be able to get started as well too. Obviously, I'm riding off of the excitement of the kickoff that happened this week, and there's so much to do, but it's part of those exciting moments right now where there's so much to build. And as a builder at heart, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Rich, I can't thank you enough for the time this morning, Ben. Newforma, we are just so delighted to be part of this journey with you. We're excited about creating the next level of innovation, the next level platform, and we are off and running. So we look forward to more of these conversations down the road. Everybody on the webcast, thank you today, and have a great rest of the day. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Thanks, Peter.